Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about how you can make more positive changes in your life easier by using your environment. There are three kinds of environment: physical, mental, and social, and then sort of a fourth dimension that sits over top of them, time. That's a physics joke. Anyway, the idea is that you can use each one of these environments to really help you to make a positive change in your life. So in this video, I'm going to talk about applying those environmental shifts to getting a better relationship in my life, a romantic relationship. So, physical environment. There's a couple different ways to take a physical environment. One is, where am I actually, and what does it look like around me? And so using physical environment can help you to remember things, and it can also help you to actually kind of change your internal state. I can put post-it notes around that'll remind me to kind of activate certain triggers, or I can put a rubber band on my wrist is a common one to practice remembering. I can also change my posture as part of a physical. So if I have this kind of posture where I'm like sad, I can't even do it that well, but where I'm like sad and kind of depressed, that's less likely to get me the results that I want if I'm looking for a relationship. So I want to have like a nice, open, confident, inviting posture that helps people to come toward me rather than move away from me. I want to avoid kind of these sorts of things, and all of these are part of my physical environment. My actual physical being is part of my physical environment, as well as the kind of the reminders. The other thing is, if I want to make positive changes in this relationship part of my life, I'm gonna need to go places where there are candidates for relationships. So it's not that great to hang out in my bedroom or on my couch by myself, because that would not be that useful for meeting people. And I guess there's like online dating, which may or may not also be useful, but regardless, even that would be a physical environment, right? So I'd have the app set up on my phone so that I have things in my space that are actually making these changes. The second one, mental environment. This one's really important and not to be underestimated, but your mental environment is the story that you're telling about the world and how things work. So if you're busy believing that there's no one out there for you and that I'll never be able to do this, there's something fundamentally wrong with me, that's going to be an environment that's going to impact your results, and you're going to have a really hard time getting the results that you're looking for. So changing your mental environment is really important. You can do this by learning what's attractive, doing some research, figuring out how, what works for other people, kind of solving the problem of understanding what mentally will help you to kind of make these changes. So you also want to understand what your core beliefs are. Like if you're believing that there really is no one out there for you, then you're not going to find them, because we've talked about in other videos attention bias or confirmation bias, and you're going to find what you're looking for in life. So getting to the core of those beliefs and changing those. You can change those by practicing, and you can practice with your physical environment. Right? Then there's your social environment. Social environment is really key, also not to be underrated. The impact of your social network on who you are as a person is really powerful. If you want to make a positive change, you want to find people that are already living life the way that you want to live your life, so that you can kind of absorb some of their habits and kind of really become more like them. That's all going to be really powerful for you in making change. You also want to cut out of your life people that do not contribute to the positive changes that you're trying to make. So if someone's really negative and talks about how all women are whatever, and then I wouldn't want to hang out with that person, because if I want to be in a relationship with a woman, then presumably I don't want to be believing that all women are blah, 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 or whatever is downing and depressing me. So finding and identifying those social changes that you need to make, also very important for the overall success of the scheme. And then time is a way that you can impact all of these dimensions, but I wanted to point it out individually because I think it's kind of cool to both understand the power of routines and to understand the power of kind of future planning or anticipation. So routines are what kinds of things can you do that will get you closer to your goal. If I want to have a relationship, then rather than having coffee at my favorite coffee shop, which is usually very empty, maybe I want to go to the place that has a lot of people, and so I'm more likely to meet somebody at a place where there's a lot of people than at a place where there's nobody. And so that would be a part of my routine that I could change. Another routine would be maybe the way that I talk to myself. That's kind of that mental component, right? And then maybe another routine would be how I spend my time on Friday nights or Saturday nights, and whether I'm at home watching Netflix by myself, which is not that conducive to my goal, or whether I'm going out with my friends and kind of hanging out in places where there's lots of people. So that's both social and physical in terms of the environment. And then the other is future pacing. So planning ahead, imagining a time when you have an option to make either a good choice or a bad choice, and by good or bad I mean functional or dysfunctional, get you closer to your goal, and planning for when those choices are going to pop up in your life and what you can do. For instance, it's really important for me, if I want to have a relationship, that I talk to people, that I actually make the choice to overcome my maybe nervousness about having a conversation and actually do it in the moment, right? Because if I don't, then I'm going to be further away from my goal, right? So planning ahead for, okay, well, what would happen? And then how will I do that? And what am I going to feel emotionally, and that I'll be able to use as a trigger to overcome and do something different, right? That I can use to practice my mental model or whatever. So the idea is that I'm both setting my routine up in a way that gathers more opportunities in my life, and then also I'm planning for those opportunities in a way that I can start to practice what I'm going to do before I do it, so that I can seize the opportunities at any given time. So these are kind of 4 dimensions of environment that you can use to enact more powerful, positive change in your life more easily. Again, they're your physical environment, setting up your actual environment, and your personal environment, your posture or whatever. There's your mental environment, so the story that you're telling, or understanding kind of more what your thoughts that you're thinking about the thing, and productive beliefs. And then there's your social environment, which is who you're hanging out with and whether or not they're good models of change. And then there's your time environment, which helps you to both set up your routines and also to plan for opportunities and seize them. I hope that all helps. I'd love to hear more about what environments you have in your life, or how you've used your environment to make changes. If you like this concept, please like it. And if you'd like to see more of this, feel free to subscribe. Hope you have a great life.